Continuing. Let. I said in mine heart, go to now, I will prove thee with mirth. Enjoy therefore, enjoy pleasure. And behold, this also was vanity. I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth. What doth it? I searched in mine heart, how to cheer my flesh with wine, my heart, yet guiding me with wisdom, and how to lay hold on folly till I might see what it was good for. The sons of men, that they should do under the heaven all the days of their life. I made me great works, I builded me houses, I planted me vineyards, I made me gardens and parks, and I planted trees in them of all kinds of fruit. I made me pools of water to water therefrom the forest where trees were reared. I bought men servants and maid servants, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions of herds and flocks, above all that were before me in Jerusalem. I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasure of kings and of the provinces. I got me singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men, concubines very many. So I was great and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me, and whatsoever mine eyes desired I kept not from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy, for my heart rejoiced because all my labor, and this was my portion from all my labor. I then looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and a striving after wind, and there was no profit under the sun. And I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. And for what can the man do that cometh after the king, even that which hath been already done? Then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly, as far as light excelleth darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, and the fool walketh in darkness. And yet I perceive that one event happeneth to them all. Then said I in my heart, as it happeneth to the fool, so will it happen even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart that this also is vanity. For of the wise man, even as of the fool, there is no remembrance forever, seeing that in the days to come all will have been already forgotten. And how doth the wise man die, even as the fool? So I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun was grievous unto me. For all is vanity and a striving after wind. And I hated all my labor, wherein I labored under the sun, seeing that I must leave it unto the man that shall be after me, and who knoweth whether he shall be as a wise man or a fool. Yet shall he have rule over all my labor wherein I have labored, and wherein I have showed wisdom under the sun. This also is vanity. Therefore I turned about to cause my heart to despair concerning all the labor wherein I had labored under the sun. For there is a man whose labor is with wisdom and with knowledge and with skillfulness, yet to a man that hath not labored therein shall he leave it for his portion. This also is vanity and a great evil. For what hath a man of all his labor and of the striving of his heart, wherein he laboureth under the sun? For all his days are but sorrows, and his travail is grief. Yea, even in the night his heart taketh no rest. This is also vanity. There is nothing better for a man than that he should eat and drink and make his soul enjoy good in his labor. This also I saw, that it is from the hand of God. For who can eat, or who can have enjoyment more than I? For to the man that pleaseth him God giveth wisdom and knowledge and joy, but to the sinner he giveth travail, to gather and to heap up, that he may give to him that pleaseth God. This is also vanity and a striving after wind. So, let go of your whole gospel prosperity thing. It's not whether you have. It's not that the rich are the ones pleasing God or the poor are the pleasing God. It's what people do with what they have, right? That's, beyond mere entertainment. Essay 2. I'm not sure if they divide it by the chapters or... To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. What profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboureth? I have seen the travail which divinity hath given to the sons of men, to be exercised therewith. He hath made everything beautiful in its time. Also he hath set the world in their heart, yet so that man cannot find out the work that God hath done from the beginning even to the end. I know that there is nothing better for them than to rejoice and to do good so long as they live, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy good in all his labor is the gift of divinity. I know that whatsoever God doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can I put it, nor anything be taken from it. I'm going to presume that's Elohim. So, and divinity hath done it, that men should fear before him. That which is hath been already, and that which is to be hath already been. And divinity seeketh again that which is passed away. And moreover, I saw under the sun, in the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and in the place of righteousness, that wickedness was there. I said in mine heart, divinity shall judge the righteous and the wicked. For there is a time for every purpose and for every work. I said in mine heart, it is because of the sons of men that God may prove them, and that they may see themselves are but as beasts. Yeah, don't deny your animal incarnation, right? For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts. Even one thing befalleth them, as the one dieth, so dieth the other. Yea, they have all one breath, and man hath no preeminence above the beast, for it is all vanity. All go into one place, all are of the dust, and all turn to dust again. Who knoweth the spirit of man, whether it goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast, whether it goeth downward to the earth? Wherefore I saw that there is nothing better than that a man should rejoice in his works, for that is his portion, for who shall bring him back to see what shall be after him? Then I returned and saw all the oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter, and on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. Wherefore I praise the dead which are already dead more than living, which are yet alive, yet better than them both did I esteem him which hath not yet been, who hath not seen the evil work that is done under the sun. Then I saw all labor and every skillful work, that for this a man is envied of his neighbor. This also is vanity and the striving after wind. The fool foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh. Better is a handful with quietness than 2 handfuls with labor and striving after wind. Then I returned and saw vanity under the sun. There is one that is alone, and he hath not a second, yet he hath neither son nor brother, yet is there no end of all his labor, neither are his eyes satisfied with riches. For whom then, saith he, do I labor and deprive my soul of good? This is also vanity. Yea, it is sore travail. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, and hath not another to lift him up. Again, if 2 lie together, then they have warmth. But how can one be warm alone? And if a man prevail against him, that is alone. Two shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Better is a poor and wise youth than an old and foolish king, who knoweth not how to receive admonition any more. For out of prison he came forth to be king, yea, even in his kingdom he was born poor. I saw all the living which walk under the sun, that they were with the youth, the second that stood up in his stead. There was no end of all the people, even of all them over whom he was. Yet they that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and a striving after wind. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, for to draw, the house of divinity, you want to, the all-encompassing way of saying it, right? If the pentagrammaton is, or hexagrammaton is what they're using there. For to draw nigh to hear is better than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they know not that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before divinity, for divinity is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Well, divinity is on earth also, but the point is that God is where we're not. Therefore let thy words be few, for a dream cometh with a multitude of business, and a fool's voice with a multitude of words. When thou vowest vow unto divinity, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou vowest. Better is that for thou shouldest not vow, than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should divinity be angry at thy voice, and destroy the work of thine hands? For thus it cometh to pass through the multitude of dreams and vanities and many words, but fear thou God. If thou seest the oppression of the poor, and the violent taking away of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter. For one higher than the high regardeth, and there be higher than he. Moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. Essay 3. He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This also is vanity. When goods increase, they are increased that eat them, and what advantage is there to the owner thereof, saving the beholding of them with his eyes? The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much, but the fullness of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. There is a grievous evil, which I have seen under the sun, namely, riches kept by the owner thereof to his hurt, and those riches perish by evil venture. And if he hath begotten a son, there is nothing in his hand. As he came forth of his mother's womb, naked shall he go again as he came, and shall take nothing for his labor, which he may carry away in his hand. And this also is a grievous evil, that in all points as he came, so shall he go. And what profit hath he that laboureth for the wind? All his days also he eateth in darkness, and he is sore vexed, and hath sickness and wrath. Behold, that which I have seen to be in good, and to be comely, is for one to eat and to drink, and to enjoy good in all his labor, wherein he laboureth under the sun all the days of his life, which divinity hath given him. For this is his portion, every man also to whom divinity hath given riches and wealth, and hath given him power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor. This is the gift of divinity, for he shall not much remember the days of his life, because divinity answereth him in the joy of his heart. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, and it is heavy upon men, a man to whom divinity giveth riches, wealth, and honor, so that he lacketh nothing for his soul of all that he desireth. Yet divinity giveth him not power to eat thereof. But a stranger eateth. This is vanity, and it is an evil disease. If a man, I'm not sure if evil's the right way to say it. That's the Christian way of saying it. Perhaps this is just a negative disease or something. But if a man beget 100 children and live many years, so that the days of his years be many, but his soul be not filled with good, and moreover he have no burial, I say that an untimely birth is better than he. For it cometh in vanity, and departeth in darkness, and the name thereof is covered with darkness. Moreover, it hath not seen the sun, nor known it. This hath rest rather than the other. Yea, though he live 1,000 years twice told, and yet enjoy no good, do not all go to one place? And the labor of man is his mouth, and yet his appetite is not filled. For what advantage hath the wise more than the fool? Or what hath the poor man that knoweth to walk before the living? Better is the sight of the eyes than the wandering of the desire. This also is vanity, and a striving after wind. Whatsoever hath been, the name thereof was given long ago, and it is known that it is man. Neither can he contend with him that is mightier than he, seeing there be many things that increase vanity. What is man the better? For who knoweth what is good for man in his life, all the days of his vain life, which he spendeth as a shadow? For who can tell a man what shall be after him under the sun? A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. It is better to go out to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance of the heart is made glad. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. For as the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool. This also is vanity. Surely extortion maketh a wise man foolish, and a gift destroyeth the understanding. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. Say not thou, what is the cause, that the former days were better than this? For thou dost not inquire wisely concerning this. Wisdom is as good as inheritance, yea, more excellent is it for them that see the sun. For wisdom is a defense, even as money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom preserveth the life of him that hath it. Consider the work of divinity, for who can make that straight, which he hath made crooked? In the day of prosperity be joyful, and in the day of adversity consider. Divinity hath made the one side by side with the other, to the end that man should not find out anything that shall be after him. All this have I seen in the days of my vanity. There is a righteous man that perisheth in his righteousness, and there is a wicked man that prolongeth his life in his evil doing. Be not righteous overmuch, neither make thyself overwise. Why shouldst thou destroy thyself? Well, that's, do the good deeds that you can physically handle, and basically don't burn out mentally and physically, but, definitely want to increase your wisdom, your consciousness, as you increase your good deeds. So, be not overmuch wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before thy time? It is good that thou shouldest take hold of this, yea, also from that withdraw not thine hand, for he that feareth God shall come forth of them all. Essay 4. Wisdom is a strength to the wise man more than 10 rulers which are in a city. Surely there is not a righteous man upon earth that doeth good and sinneth not. Also take not heed unto all words that are spoken, lest thou hear thy servant curse thee, for oftentimes also thine own heart knoweth that which thou thyself likewise hast cursed others. All this have I proved in wisdom. I said, I will be wise, but it was far from me. That which is far off and exceedingly deep, who can find it out? I turned about, and my heart was set to know and to search out and seek wisdom and the reason of things, and to know that wickedness is folly, and that foolishness is madness. And I find a thing more bitter than death, even the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth divinity shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Behold, this have I found, saith the preacher. Laying one thing to another to find out the account which my soul seeketh, but I have not found. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. Well, if you're a man, you're looking for someone to marry, you're having stricter requirements than those that you interact with and don't have to live with is, reasonable. Behold, this only have I found, that divinity made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. Who is as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the hardness of his face is changed. I counsel thee, keep the king's command, and that in regard of the oath of divinity. Be not hasty to go out of his presence. Persist not in an evil thing, for he doeth whatsoever pleaseth him, because the king's word hath power. And who may say unto him, What doest thou? Whoso keepeth the commandment shall know no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth time and judgment. For to every purpose there is a time and judgment, because the misery of man is great upon him, for he knoweth not that which shall be, for who can tell him how it shall be? There is no man that hath power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither hath he power over the day of death. There is no discharge in it that war. Neither shall wickedness deliver him that is given to it. All this have I seen and applied to my heart. Unto every work that is done under the sun, there is a time wherein one man hath power over another to his hurt. And withal I saw the wicked buried, and they came to the grave, and they that had done right went away from the holy place, and were forgotten in the city. This also is vanity, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Though a sinner do evil 100 times and prolong his days, yet surely I know that it shall be well within him that fear divinity, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before divinity. There is a vanity which is done upon the earth, that there be righteous men, unto whom it happeneth according to the work of the wicked. Again, there be wicked men, to whom it happeneth according to the work of the righteous. I said that this also is vanity. Then I commended mirth, because a man hath no better thing under the sun than to eat and to drink and to be merry, for that shall abide with him in his labor all the days of his life, which divinity hath given him under the sun. When I applied my heart to know wisdom, and to see the business that is done upon earth, for also there is that neither day nor night seeth sleep with his eyes. Now, that could be a way of translating it. It could be something added to the text that they've figured out has been added to the text. Then I beheld all the work of divinity. Kind of like the whole Moses thing. I'll show what I've left behind. It doesn't say that God mooned Moses. It says that man cannot find out the work that is done under the sun, because however much a man labor to seek it out, yet he shall not find it. Yea, moreover, though a wise man think to know it, yet shall he not be able to find it. For all this I laid to my heart, even to explore all this, that the righteous and the wise and their works are in the hand of divinity. Whether it be love or hatred, man knoweth it not. All is before them. All things come alike to all. There is one event to the righteous and to the wicked, to the good and to the clean and to the unclean, to him that sacrificeth and him that sacrificeth not is as is the good, so is the sinner. And he that sweareth, as he that feareth an oath. There is an evil in all that is done under the sun, so that there is one event unto all. Yea, also the heart of the sons of men is full of evil, and madness is in their heart, while they live, and after that they go to the dead. For to him that is joined with all the living there is hope. For a living dog is better than a dead lion. For the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything, neither have they any more of reward. For the memory of them is forgotten, as well their love as their hatred, and their envy is now perished. Neither have they any more a portion forever in anything that is done under the sun. Go thy way, eat thy bread with joy, and drink thy wine with a merry heart. For divinity hath already accepted thy works. Let thy garments always be white, and let not thy head lack ointment. Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of thy life with thy vanity, which he hath given thee under the sun, all the days of thy vanity, for that is thy portion in life, and in thy labor wherein thou laborest under the sun. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill. But time and chance happeneth to them all. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare. Even so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. I have also seen wisdom under the sun on this wise, and it seemed great unto me. There was a little city, and a few men within it. And there came a great king against it, and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. Yet no man remembered that same poor man. Then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. And remember the whole Bhagavad Gita and other Vaishnava texts that draw the difference between karmi, jnana, and bhakti yoga. So the fruitive or physical, that's all well and good, but that's not enough. The mental, development, it goes beyond that. And then there's the devotional service. So the devotional service is the higher station, and that's what we're seeing here too. The words of the wise are spoken in quiet, are heard more than the cry of him that rolleth among fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good. Dead flies cause the ointment of the perfumer to send forth a stinking savor. Flies in the Vaseline we are. Anyways, so doeth a little folly outweigh wisdom and honor. A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart at his left. Yea, also when the fool walketh by the way, his understanding faileth him, and he saith to every one that he is a fool. If the spirit of the ruler rise up against thee, leave not thy place, for yielding allayeth great offences. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as it were an error which proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. And don't just obey and believe your rulers just because it's the ruler. There's got to be something more to that. And those at the left and those at the right are not the same as the right-hand path and the left-hand path. And the left-hand path, as opposed to this, isn't evil, ignorance, or just rebelling against society. But it is, you're kind of willing to be radical, willing to be different, willing to make a change. And